Rhyme Bridge at 20s, Canton Lightning 25 to 1 with Allegretta the same price, 25 to 1, and Fiesta Fun and Fruition both at 66 to 1, all 12 runners show.
And there with the diamond on his chest is Lester Piggott, riding Blue Wind, as he told us, for the first time in his life. Well, this was a top-class 2-year-old last year, and there's every evidence that Baroness, I beg your pardon, Mrs. Firestone, who paid 180,000 guineas to buy Blue Wind out of the late Paddy Prendergast's stable, there's every evidence to show that that money was well spent, because although she didn't quite repay it at a stroke by winning the Irish 1,000 guineas, she was only just beaten by Arctique Royale in that race, and provided she's recovered from the very hard race she had at the Curragh, and also provided that she gets this trip today, because a mile is the furthest she's ever gone so far, I believe she's going to give Leicester a great ride, and needless to say, vice versa. As to the stamina, she's by Lord Gale, out of a mare by Chamassaire. Well, Chamassaire won the St. Leger, and Lord Gale usually gets horses who get middle distances, so I wouldn't have thought there would be too much doubt, I hope not anyway, about Blue Wind's stamina. There's none about her jockey, and I think she's got a great chance. So that's number 2, Blue Wind, and in front of her is the German-bred filly Allegretta. As I said, it would be, I suppose, poetic justice if Allegretta won for Germany, but it would also be a particular fairy tale ending to the week for her rider Walter Swinburne, who, as I don't need to tell you, has already had a week no 19-year-old is likely to forget. Well, Allegretta isn't really on form entitled to beat Leap Lively, because she finished 3 lengths behind Leap Lively in the Lingfield Oaks trial. That's rather a puzzling sort of race, because the Irish filly Condessa, who finished behind this filly Allegretta, went on to York and hacked up in the Musidora, beating Fairy Footsteps and indeed Madame Gay, who we'll see later on. Nevertheless, Allegretta probably almost certainly needed that race at Lingfield. She'd won 2 of her 3 races as a 2-year-old, and if the Lingfield race has brought her on an abnormal amount, well then she would be in there with just about the same chance as Leap Lively. She's pretty sure to get the trip, I think. Her dam was by Espresso, and her dam was a good mare in Germany. She's by Lombard. I think she'd get the trip all right, and she might be good enough to be there at the end. Number 1, Allegretta, the mount of Walter Swinburne. And there's Steve Corton on Canton Lightning, who is a really nice grey filly. Well, not really a great chance on the book, but Barry Hills tells me that Canton Lightning started improving about a week or two, no, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and has never stopped. He says she's improving really fast, so fast that he, Barry, had a bid on her yesterday at 50 to 1. She's now, as you saw, only 33 to 1. As I say, she hasn't really a chance on the book. She was well beaten in the Cheshire Oaks behind Hunston, and in fact behind Rhinebridge too, who she meets again today. But next time out she jumped off in front. She's one of those who might make the running this afternoon, because she made all the running at Doncaster and held on really well, beat Alma Atta. Well, that certainly wasn't, on the face of it, Oaks winning form, but nevertheless it showed that Canton Lightning is at her best, or at any rate, according to her trainer, she's rapidly approaching her best. So, if Barry Hills is right, who knows? Number 3, Canton Lightning, turning to canter down, and that's Fiesta Fun, the mount of Paul Cook. Well, Fiesta Fun's only had 2 runs this season, and the second one, a maiden race at Brighton, certainly didn't look like Oaks form. But then you look further back in the form book, and you find that last season, as a 2-year-old, Fiesta Fun only finished 3 lengths behind Leap Lively in the Hoover Mile at Ascot, and that was really good form. And I reckon that Fiesta Fun is just about as good an outsider as you can find. This is a very open race, but she'd be a long price, I imagine. And if you have just a very little each way, you'd be quite likely to have a run for your money. Fiesta Fun, the mount of Paul Cook. She was being followed down by Fruition. We're probably going to lose them for just a moment. No, there's Fruition, coming towards the end of the canter down. This is one of Paul Kellaway's 2 maidens. The last time a maiden won the Oaks, it was Monsieur Marcel Boussac's Asmina. She never won a race before the Oaks, and she never won one after, which makes me rather lucky, because I backed her that day. It was a very hot day, I remember, long ago in 1950. But maidens don't often win classics, but that hasn't stopped Pattern Race Paul running 2. Fruition and Madame Gay. Well, Fruition has got the less obvious chance of the two. She was second in her last run, but nevertheless, she is still a maiden. It would be an awful surprise if she gives Philip Robinson a winning ride. Another look at the betting now.
Leap Lively still the favourite, 5-2. Blue Wind is now 130 from 3-1, and Go Leasing reverts to 11-2 from 6s. Tropicaro in half a point, 13-2 from 6-1. Madame Gay at 10s, Humming 16-1. Ivory Wings at 20s, Rhyme Bridge and Allegretta both at 25s. Canton Lightning 33-1 from 25s, and Fiesta Fun and Fruition both 66-1. All 12 show.
And that's Go Leasing, number 7, the Mount of Greville Starkey. Of course, will be riding Recitation in the French Derby tomorrow. Well, if you remember the 1,000 guineas, the English 1,000 guineas, this filly Go Leasing was finishing like a rocket towards the end, but sadly, the form of that race simply hasn't worked out. Both Fairy Footsteps and Tolmy have been beaten since then, so that's a big question mark over Go Leasing, who hasn't run since. She's by Star Appeal. She ought to get the trip. She certainly ran at Newmarket as though further would suit her, but unfortunately, on the face of it so far, the English 1,000 guineas wasn't much of a race. Nevertheless, if you'd only seen that race and known it was a classic, you'd have certainly fancied Go Leasing. Number 7, Go Leasing, the Mount of Greville Starkey. Immediately behind her, in the cross belts, is certainly the best bred filly in this race, Ivory Wings, in the light blue cross belts on a dark ground with a white cap. Colours which have been very unlucky ones for Philippe Paquet, who wears them, because they're the same colours, those of Mr. Stavros Niarchos, that he wore on Noreev when he was disqualified in that sensational 2,000 guineas. Well, Mr. Niarchos gave $335 for Ivory Wings, and no wonder, because she's by Sir Ivor, perhaps one of the most successful sires of fillies in the whole world, and out of a mare called Kittiwake, who, believe it or not, won 18 races in America. Well, Ivory Wings has started following in her dam's footsteps, because she's won her last 2 races, and the last of those was over 1.5 miles. She beat her stable companion River Reef in that, so she gets the trip. She hasn't yet met fillies of this class, but she's quite strongly fancied by the French contingent, and heaven knows Philippe Paquet and François Boutin deserve a change of luck in England. So that's number 9, Ivory Wings. Followed by the other French filly, Tropicaro, who is has been known to get very upset before her races sometimes, I believe, but although she jumped around a little bit in the paddock, she certainly looks to be perfectly calm now. She's ridden by Alain Lecoeur, the man from whom Lester Piggott borrowed a whip on a favourite occasion once in France and got stood down for it, and Alain Lecoeur then came over and won the St. Leger on Son of Love carrying the same whip. Well, who knows, he might win this afternoon on Tropicaro, although this filly represents the French 1,000 guineas form, and she was only 5th in that race, 5th to Ukraine Girl. On the other hand, last season, I have to admit, that she beat my selection Blue Wind in the French fillies, the equivalent of the Grand Criterium, the main fillies race over 1 mile. Tropicaro won that race, beating Blue Wind, so that on that form, she's got a tremendous chance.
13-2. Madame Gay at 10s, Humming 16-1, 20s bar.
Well, Dick Hearn has had a miserable season by his standards so far. As I told you, only 4 winners, and only 3 winners, and then he was struck down by the virus. But Neltino hacked up at Kempton the other day, and although Church Parade could only finish 5th in the Derby, nevertheless, there's every evidence that Dick Hearn's horses are coming back to form. And if so, this filly Humming, who in a Kempton gallop went the best of Dick's fillies, that's to say better than Boathouse and several other good fillies who are in the stable. Humming went much the best in that gallop, and she's a filly by Bustino out of a Tudor Melody mare, Secret Song. She's only won over 1.25 miles so far, but she's very likely to get this 1.5 miles. She won the Pretty Polly Stakes pretty well, going away, beating Roll Rights over 1.25 miles, and that was before the virus struck. So if, as her trainer believes, she's got over the trouble and is back at her best, as the Kempton Gallop certainly suggested, well, who knows, perhaps she might give Dick and Willie Carson their second Oaks in 2 years, even though they didn't manage to make it a hat trick in the Derby. Number 8, humming. There's Madame Gay, but as you see, Blue Wind is now 11-4 favourite, I'm sorry to see, so I'm on the favourite. That's a bad sign. And Leap Lively is 3-1 and 11-2 bar. And there is Leap Lively, the erstwhile favourite. Well, she was fully entitled to that position, even if she hasn't held it, because she won the Lingfield Derby Trial fair and square, making all the running, and Condessa, who finished third to her that day, went on to win the Musidora Stakes at York, beating not only Fairy Footsteps, but Madame Gay and several other fillies. Madame Gay, probably the principal one who runs against her today. But I've always had a doubt whether Leap Lively is a lovely big filly by Majinski. She ran here in the blue ribbon, I beg your pardon, the Princess Elizabeth Stakes, and didn't really look all that happy on the hills and bends of Epsom that day, as you can see. She's just about as beautiful a filly as you can imagine. A grand big filly, not the same colour as Majinski, but a similar build, and out of a very good mare, a Graustark mare called Quillo Quick. So she's bred to win an Oaks, and she's won an Oaks trial, but I still have that niggling doubt, first of all, about her ability to act on the course, and secondly, of whether she'll have to make the running. She did make all the running in the Lingfield trial, and that certainly wouldn't be to her advantage today. Nevertheless, there are one or two others who might go on, Canton Lightning and one or two others. So if Leap Lively can be held up and restrained and tenured until the straight, she's sure to be in the shake-up. It just remains to see whether she'll act on the track. Number 10, Mr. Paul Mellon's Leap Lively, ridden by John the First. And there is the second of Paul Kellaway's maidens. Well, Paul really thinks a tremendous amount of this filly, Madame Gay, and when she ran in the 1,000 guineas, every one of his superlatives looked to be justified, because she had a horrible run, came from last and finished like a rocket, just behind Go Leasing in 4th place. But then she went up to York, where the distance of the Musidora should have suited her. She's a big filly, and so it doesn't much like going into the stalls with a jockey on her. She goes in on her own, all right, as you saw then, and John Reed will get back on her now, and all, I hope, will be well. Madame Gay has that peculiarity about the stalls. But like so many other fillies and colts at York, she totally failed to show her form in that very sticky ground, and I must say those disappointments of York haven't so far been coming good next time. Fairy Footsteps in a gallop at, oh, you see a change in the betting now. Blue Wind is now joint favourite with Leap Lively at 11-4, and it's 11-2 bar. I was talking about Madame Gay and her failure at York. Maybe it can be blamed on the sticky ground, or maybe perhaps on the fact that Goebel Starkey came to the front too soon. Quite understandably, he thought Fairy Footsteps was the one he had to beat. Went to the front about 2 furlongs out, and then, to everybody's surprise, Condessa came through to beat him. As I say, Paul Kellaway thinks so much of Madame Gay that he talks of her in the same breath as Swiss Maid, who was, I suppose, about as good as Madame Gay on form at this stage of the season, but ended up at the top of the tree winning the Champion Stakes. So if Paul's right, who knows, Madame Gay might start her climb today. Rhinebridge we haven't seen. Second in the Cheshire Oaks, beat Golden Brigadier last time, who didn't show her much of pay her much of a compliment in the Derby. But I believe Bruff's listening in. Bruff, give us your selection or opinion as they're in the stalls.
Well, I think that it's going to be funny when they turn up, John, because whether they will all come this side, I don't know. But Blue Wind did have a very hard race in the Guineas. It's the one thought I've got against her. And I think the French filly Tropicaro, if she reproduces her form, could go very well here. That's my thought. We've just got one go in.
It certainly,
Leap Lively.
Well, it certainly will be fascinating to see what tactics the jockeys adopt after they've had at least one clue in favour of the conventional far side route, but they've had some other clues in favour of coming over here. We shall see, but as Tropicaro goes in, over to you, Graham Good.
For the 203rd Oaks, over 1.5 miles. All in, under orders and running. And in the early stages, Allegretto going on, Leap Lively up on the outside, Madame Gay and Ivory Wings on the near side, Canton Lightning and Fruition as they're settling down, running through the first furlong. and it's Allegretta that leads from Fruition and Canton Lightning. Then comes Leap Lively and Ivory Wings. Behind these comes Fiesta Fun, then Tropicaro. The back marker at this stage is Blue Wind. Continuing the climb up on the far side, and Leap Lively, the one with the noseband on the left of the picture, with Allegretta. The striped jacket of Canton Lightning towards the right, the white sleeves of Fruition just in behind this one. Then comes Ivory Wings. Tropicaro up on the outside, tracked by Ryan Bridge and Madam Gay. Then comes Fiesta Fun, and up on the outside go Leasing. Blue Wind is still towards the rear as they continue their uphill climb on the far side, and Leap Lively in the lead from Canton Lightning. Allegretta now third, and Walter Swinburne on Allegretta going nowhere near as comfortably as he was on Shergar at this corresponding stage in the Derby. He's in third place. But it's Leap Lively and John Mathias leading from Canton Lightning. In second place Steve Cawthon, then Allegretta in third, and behind Allegretta is Ivory Wings. Then comes Fruition and Madam Gay and Tropicaro. Then Ryan Bridge and Fiesta Fun are at the top of the hill and begin the descent, and Leap Lively in a lead of some 2 to 3 lengths from Canton Lightning in second place and Ivory Wings third. Then Allegretta is 4 and Fruition is 5, and making up ground on the outside Madam Gay. Then Blue Wind has made up some ground. Ryan Bridge is going backwards. They've passed halfway, and it's Leap Lively in a clear lead over Canton Lightning in second place. Ivory Wings is third. Then Madam Gay is in 4 and Blue Wind 5 and Allegretta 6. And Tropicaro is tailed off. That one you can see well and truly tailed off as they begin the descent into Tattenham Corner. And Leap Lively in the lead and clear from Madam Gay, Ivory Wings and Canton Lightning, tracked by Blue Wings. And these 5 are in turn well clear of the remainder. And it's Leap Lively in the lead. Leap Lively in the lead and clear from Madam Gay in second place. Then Blue Wind is in third. Just over 3 furlongs to go. Leap Lively from Madam Gay, with Blue Wind coming with a strong run, and with 2.5 furlongs to go. Leap Lively coming back to her field. Madam Gay and Blue Wind making up ground on the outside. Just over 2 furlongs to go, and it's Blue Wind now who's come through to take it up. Blue Wind and Lester Piggott sets sail for home from Madam Gay in second place. Leap Lively beaten back in third. 1.5 furlongs to go, and it's Blue Wind in the lead from Madam Gay in second place. Leap Lively, who made the early running, now towering in third place and coming inside the final furlong. Lester Piggott on Blue Wind in the lead and clear from Madam Gay, going up towards the line. Blue Wind's going to win it, coming up towards the line. Blue Wind in the lead at the line. Blue Wind the winner, and Madam Gay is second, and Leap Lively is going to be third. Then came Ivory Wings in fourth place, and Go Leasing in fifth, and Fruition and Ryan Bridge. Then came Fiesta Fun and Canton Lightning, Humming and Allegretta, and well and truly tailed off the French Ranger Tropicaro. And so the result of this, the 203rd Oaks, is a win for number 2, Blue Wind, owned by Mrs. Bertram R. Firestone, trained in Ireland by Dermot Weld and ridden by Lester Piggott. Second was number 11, Madam Gay, owned by Mr. Geoffrey Kay, trained at Newmarket by Paul Kellaway and ridden by John Reed. And third, number 10, Leap Lively, owned by Mr. Paul Mellon, trained at Kingsclear by Ian Boulding and ridden by John Mathias. And so Lester Piggott has won his 5th Oaks. He won it in 1975 on Juliet Marnie, in 66 on Valoris, on 59 of Petit Etoile, and 57 in Carrozza. Lester Piggott's 39th, 40th winner of the season, and his 5th Oaks. The last Irish victory was in 1966 with Valoris. And Lester winning yet another classic under his belt. His ambition, of course, to ride more classic winners than ever before. He may not have sat on this filly before this afternoon, but he gave her the most superb ride. However, turning into Tattenham Corner, John Mathias on Leap Lively was going very, very well indeed. Very, very well indeed. But it was Lester Piggott on Blue Wind who came round. Here's John.
Yes, he can do it every which way. He may have lost his cap, but he never loses his head. And although Leap Lively did at that stage seem still to be going pretty well in front, Lester's made his move now, and just look at the speed Blue Wind produces. Madam Gay ran a tremendous race, fulfilled some at least of her trainer's hopes, but she never could match this tremendous speed that Blue Wind showed halfway up the straight. Leicester was obviously perfectly confident of her stamina. He waited right out of the back in the first quarter of the race, but once he set sail for home, there was never any doubt. Leap Lively has run well to the corner, but was made to look very one-paced in the end. She runs on at that one pace to be third, and Ivory Wings is fourth. But Lester Piggott has won his 25th Classic, which puts him only 2 behind Frank Buckle in the all-time total, and I hope and confidently expect that he will shortly, or not too shortly, but quite soon, overtake Frank and win more classics than any jockey ever.
Coming back into the unsettling enclosure, place reserved for a winner, and you can see there, broad beam on the face of Lester Piggott on this 3-to-1 joint favourite of the Oak Stakes. This filly, running in her 8th race, she won a couple of times last year and has had 2 runs this season. She changed hands for 180,000 guineas at the Goss November sales out of Prendergast stable, and now with Dermot Weld. In fact, she only cost 5,600 guineas as a yearling, so clearly the job was done by Prendergast, because building up the value in the filly, and now the value colossal indeed. Owned by Mrs. Bertram R. Firestone, and in fact she had 7 lengths to spare, 7 lengths to spare over the second, with 10 lengths between the second and third. Gives you some degree of authority which this filly had, this daughter of Lord Gale, who really slaughtered the opposition. But I must say that at the top of the hill, Leap Lively is going very, very well indeed with John Mathias. John was second on the Derby. Unfortunately, he finished third in this The Oaks. I'm sure he would have settled for second place and would have wanted to have gone one better. Blue Wind getting the applause she deserves.